Now, when you are choosing your internet hosting service, you may be confronted with several options like shared hosting, virtual private servers, you have dedicated servers, and you also hear people talk about cloud services. So I would want to talk about each one of them and give an example to help you understand what they really mean. The first one about shared hosting is where your site, your application is hosted in a server where many other sites are also hosted, and so you share the resources in the server. I think the best example to use is in a house, whereby in a school hostel, you have students sharing facilities such as washrooms, but each one has his own space to spend. So that is how shared hosting works. Each one has space to store the files, but you are sharing the RAM, the processing power, and other services from the server. The second one is a virtual private server, which gives a form of control because you have your own server. It's not physical, it's a virtual one, meaning it's software defined, and you are allocated your own resources, meaning that you have your own RAM, you have your own processor, you have your own storage space. And so in the example of a building, this would be an example. This would be similar to an apartment where you have a house within an apartment and your resources are within your house, everything that you need. We have dedicated servers, which is, in this case, you get your own physical server, a bare metal server that will host your details. And this means the server is not shared with anybody else. So if the server is switched off, you are the only one who is affected. And the advantage of this is that you have all the resources dedicated to you and you have more control about what happens in the server and even gives a more secure environment. This would be in a case whereby you have your own standalone mansion in your own compound and you don't share the parking space or anything else with anybody, but all the resources are dedicated to you. Finally, we hear of cloud hosting, one of the most revolutionary products that we have for hosting, because all the resources can be changed at will, can be adjusted at any time, and it doesn't matter the data center where your data is hosted or the location, because it's basically in the cloud. It's like having a house whereby you have walls that can move. You have a visitor, you move the walls and create space for them. You need a smaller house, you move the walls closer and you shrink your house. So cloud hosting gives you a lot of flexibility in the sense that you can customize your storage, your RAM, your processor at any given moment, and you are able to increase this as your resources grow.